For an elevated half kneeling hip flexor stretch, we're using pads. We can use a block, we can use a wedge. We want a pad on top to protect the knee, but we can use any sort of step height. What we are doing here before we go into our hip flexor stretch is decreasing the amount of hip flexion on my other side by essentially falsely lengthening my femur of my down leg side. So the higher I go, the less my bent, flexed hip will need to bend. As I go, we can decrease this back down to the floor. We might play with elevation. It'll depend why this is in your program. But by and large, the elevation you use will be largely dependent on you and why we're using it. It'll be dictated in the notes of your program. Before we start, level hips, so we're elevating the knee, tuck that tail underneath, and then giving it that slight press forward into a hip flexor stretch, and then coming on back. So it's a slight tuck, very slight press forward, and coming on back. Looking for that deeper in the hip. If it creeps down into the quad, I'm okay with that for the start, but really focusing on the tuck and the squeeze of that down leg glute to drive the stretch forward into the front of the hip there. You perform for reps or time as prescribed for an elevated half kneeling hip flexor stretch.